Welcome to the Cinematic Trail, an AI-generated deep dive conversation into the ever-evolving world of cinematography. From exposure theory to lens choices, from lighting philosophy to creative workflows, we explore the craft, the gear, and the stories behind the frame, one trail marker at a time. Want to take your cinematography to the next level? Explore our online courses and learn more at cinematic.com. And be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel for weekly insights and inspiration. Let's begin the journey.
Welcome to the show.
Yeah, thanks for joining us. Let's dive right in. Today, we're zeroing in on something you see all the time, probably without even consciously thinking about it. It's how these seemingly simple technical choices in video, in filmmaking, things like just where you decide to put the camera, how they have this huge power.
They really shape how you feel, what you take away from what you're watching. It's kind of invisible but powerful.
Exactly. And you shared some really great source material from Chris Tenard with Cinematic with us that gets right into this, specifically looking at camera angles and composition.
Right. We usually focus on what the camera's pointed at, the subject. But Chris make a strong case that where that camera is positioned is just as important, maybe even more so sometimes.
And what you choose to include in the shot too, right?
Yep.
Framing.
Absolutely. Composition.
So that's our mission for this deep dive. Changing the angle, setting up the composition just so. How does that fundamentally change the story, the emotion?
It's like cracking the code, isn't it? Understanding that visual language that guides your experience, often without you even noticing.
Yeah, a shortcut to seeing how it all works.
Okay, Chris Tenard explains in his video the default setting.
The default.
Yeah. When a filmmaker arrives on location, sets up the camera, what's the first instinct? Usually, it's plonk it on a tripod.
Okay.
And where does it end up? Almost always. Right around eye level. 5, maybe 6 feet off the ground.
Which I guess makes sense. That's how we see the world normally.
Exactly. It feels natural, it's familiar, often just convenient. And look, for some things, it's the right call. Chris mentions news broadcasts, for instance.
Oh, right.
Or maybe live sports. The idea there is often to be neutral, right? Minimal emotional spin. Just show the event as it is, like you're standing there watching.
Let the viewer be the observer, no added commentary from the camera angle itself.
Precisely. But if you're actually trying to tell a story, create a mood, make something visually interesting.
Sticking to that everyday eye-level view.
It's the fastest way to make a shot feel, well, flat, mundane even. You're showing people something they see every day, from the angle they always see it. It doesn't grab you.
So the key takeaway here is break the habit.
That's the core idea. Shift the perspective. That's how you make shots more engaging, how you get that intentional cinematic feel. It's about moving away from the automatic.
It's not just pointing the camera, it's making a deliberate choice about where to point it from, somewhere different.
You got it. And these angles, they aren't just spots on a set diagram. They're tools. Tools to guide how you, the viewer, experience the scene, to make you feel something. Even tiny shifts in height can totally transform the mood.
Okay, let's get into those shifts then.
Yeah.
Chris, talk a lot about going low, dropping the camera down. What kind of feeling does that typically create?
Well, often it brings a sense of intimacy. You feel more grounded, more connected. It's relatable. There's this emotional closeness, like you're in the moment, not just watching it from a distance.
Chris couldn't point to any better example than that shot of the student study on the grass.
Yes, perfect example. The camera isn't standing up looking down at them. It's right down there with them, on their level.
So you feel like you could almost be sitting there too.
Exactly, like you're lying in the grass beside them, sharing that quiet moment. If you shot that from standing height, everything flattens out. You're just looking at the tops of their heads. But get low, you get that sense of inclusion, and visually the background stretches out, giving it depth.
Okay, I see that. And what about the basketball team huddle? That was another one.
Oh, yeah, that's a great one. It's not shot from the stands, looking down like an analyst. It's like you're inside the circle, a player's perspective.
Put you right in there.
Totally. And that low angle naturally draws your eye up to the coach, who's the focus. But you also get hints of the environment, the floor, maybe other players' legs, the scoreboard way up high. It gives you scale and puts you in the huddle, feeling the intensity. It's participation, not just observation.
Chris had this really striking shot, ground level, looking at those desert tomato plants.
What's powerful there is the emotional shift. From eye level, okay, they're big plants, maybe impressive, but get down low. eye to eye with the plants.
It changes things.
It really does. It becomes intimate, almost wondrous. You see the texture, the soil, the fruit up close. You connect with the life, the struggle, the achievement of growing them there. It feels so much more real, more tangible.
Even in a more formal setting, like that conference room example, does low angle work there too?
Absolutely. Putting the camera low, like table height,
Mm-hmm.
it instantly changes your relationship to the scene. A high angle might make you feel like you're analyzing the meeting,
Yeah.
but down at the table level,
You feel like you're sitting there.
yeah, like you're part of the conversation, involved, not just looking down on it.
There was one more low-angle shot, the student walking towards a group. It felt really different.
Ah, yes, the wide shot under the overhang.
Yeah.
That one uses the low angle combined with the architecture really well.
How so?
It makes the space feel big, but welcoming, almost grand. The low perspective emphasizes the student moving towards the group, creating this feeling of arrival, anticipation, openness.
Like joining something.
Exactly. A sense of belonging, maybe optimism. It feels significant, not just like someone walking across a plaza.
Okay, so low angles.
Yeah.
Intimacy, grounded, participation.
Okay.
Got it. What happens when we go the other way? High angles.
High angles often give you a different perspective entirely. Think context, scale, sometimes detachment or analysis. You're looking down.
Seeing the bigger picture.
Often, yeah. Seeing a system, a process, it can make things feel grand, important, or sometimes it makes the subject look small, vulnerable even. It's like you're peering in from above.
That other shot of the professor, the one walking through the tomato plants, not down beside them, that felt high angle.
It was. And compare it to the low angle shot of the plants themselves. Totally different feeling, right?
Completely.
The high angle emphasizes the scale, how huge these plants are compared to him. He looks small, enclosed in this, like, jungle.
Right.
That perspective creates awe, curiosity. Like, how is this even possible? It highlights the incredible achievement, makes you wonder about the system behind it all.
And the overhead conference room shot we mentioned earlier, the table level one felt involving.
But the high overhead one, that's pure context and analysis. You see the whole layout, everyone's seated, the city outside. It's that classic 30,000-foot view.
Detached.
Exactly. You feel removed, like an observer looking down at the structure, the dynamics. Perfect for analysis.
That really dramatic aerial shot of Little Caesars Arena fits here too, doesn't it?
Oh, absolutely. Super high up, looking straight down. People are tiny dots. That high angle is all about scale, pride, permanence.
Monument.
Yeah, it makes the building and the big signs feel huge, significant. The emotion is grandeur, prestige, importance.
Even something less dramatic, like the golf course shot.
Same principle.
Yeah.
From the ground, you just see grass and hills. From high up, you see the design, the form, the layout. It becomes almost graphic, sculptural. It reveals a pattern you'd otherwise miss.
Now, things get even more interesting with drones, because it's not just about being high up, is it?
No, not at all. That's a key point. Drones are amazing tools for camera movement and getting unique perspective, sure, but the altitude itself is just one variable. It's how you use that perspective.
Chris showed that really well with the hotel example.
Mhm.
2 different drone shots of the same place.
Right. First, there's that really high angle shot. It's a dusk, city lights twinkling below.
Yeah, that one felt grand, but maybe a little lonely.
Exactly. That high perspective creates scale, but also a bit of isolation. The hotel looks like this elegant beacon, a destination. It feels exclusive, maybe a bit remote, like you're discovering it from afar.
But then they contrasted it with a different drone shot. Lower down, closer, during the day.
And the whole feeling changes. The hotel fills more of the frame. It's bathed in warm sunlight. You can see the pool, the seating areas.
It feels much more inviting.
Totally. It shifts from exclusive destination to welcoming hospitality. That lower, closer perspective makes it feel approachable, like you're already there, a part of the scene, like you could just walk over to the pool.
Wow. It's pretty striking how changing just the drone's height and maybe proximity transforms the message about the exact same building.
It really hammers home the point, doesn't it? Angle choice isn't just technical, it's fundamental storytelling.
Yeah.
It shapes your emotional reaction deliberately.
Okay, so angle is clearly huge. Massive impact. But Chris is careful to say it's not the whole story.
No, definitely not.
The truly powerful stuff happens when you pair a creative angle with composition.
Yes, that's the power couple. Angle and composition. A cool angle can kind of fall flat if the shot itself isn't well composed.
And composition is basically what's in the frame and how it's arranged.
Pretty much. What you include, what you leave out, how elements are positioned relative to each other, how you lead the viewer's eye through the image.
So it's the combination of angle and composition that
Yeah.
gives you those really cinematic shots, the ones that don't just show you something, but make you feel it.
Couldn't have said it better. Think about that shot of the professionals walking down the corridor.
Okay.
The angle is low. That adds drama, makes their movement feel more dynamic, pulls you along with them. But the composition, the corridor itself is symmetrical. It acts like a visual funnel.
Pointing right at them, focusing your attention.
Exactly. That combination, low angle plus symmetry, gives you that strong sense of clarity, purpose, professionalism, forward momentum. You feel it.
Or that other conference room shot we touched on, the one focusing on the leader at the end of the table.
Right. Angle.
Yeah.
Low again. Table height. Gives the scene weight, makes you feel grounded, like you're seated there. But then look at the composition.
It was very balanced, symmetrical.
Yes, symmetrical arrangement. The leader perfectly framed by the window grid behind them. And they even pointed out the subtle reflection on the polished table.
Which can imply things like transparency, maybe trust, subconsciously.
It's those layers. The composition reinforces the mood the angle sets up. Symmetry suggests order. The flaming highlights the leader. The low angle keeps you involved, not looking down. It conveys this calm authority, structured collaboration. It feels important, but also like you're part of it.
Very effective. They also analyzed that group sitting in the high-back chairs, the wider shot of them.
Yeah, the composition there was looser, a sort of semicircle.
Right.
As Chris points out, the arrangement plus the use of negative space around them implies thoughtful dialogue, collaboration. It feels natural, like people talking, but it's carefully composed to feel open yet maintain some personal space.
And then the close-up within that same scene, the woman listening intently. Still that seated level angle, but the composition was super specific.
Incredibly specific. She's not just centered, she's placed deliberately in the right third of the frame. There's someone else blurred in the background on the left. There's even a plant slightly in the foreground on the right.
Adding depth.
Exactly. It's not just a snapshot of her face. That off-center framing, the shallow depth of field blurring the background, the foreground element, it guides how you feel. It positions you as a quiet observer, maybe. Encourages reflection, empathy.
And those background things, like the plant, or they mentioned a scale model of a building in another shot, they're not just window dressing, are they?
Not at all. They add context. Where are we? They add texture. They can even add layers of meaning. That model building tells you something about the business or project being discussed, perhaps.
So composition uses framing, spacing, focus, all these elements to really deepen the emotion and enrich the story that the angle initially sets up.
It makes the image work on multiple levels, makes it meaningful, not just visually pleasing.
And the really powerful thing about all of this is that even if you, as a viewer, you don't consciously think, oh, that's a low angle with symmetrical composition.
You still feel it. You feel the difference. You sense the intention behind the shot, even if you can't articulate why it works.
Because angle and composition, working together, they're silently answering questions for you, questions you might not even know you're asking.
Yeah, questions like, am I supposed to feel like I'm in this scene or just watching it? What's the main emotion here? Is it awe? Is it intimacy? Is it tension? Am I being pulled close or kept at arm's length?
And the answers your subconscious gets from the visuals, that defines how you connect with the whole thing.
Absolutely. So if there's one big takeaway, it's probably stop defaulting to eye level.
Yeah, it seems so obvious once you break it down.
It's easy, it's comfortable, but it's rarely the choice that adds the most impact, the most feeling, the most storytelling power.
Great visual storytelling isn't just about pointing a camera at something interesting. It's about deliberately shaping how the viewer perceives it, how they feel about it.
Every single angle, every compositional choice, it's intentional. It's made by the filmmaker, the creator. We're not just documenting reality like a security camera.
It's about crafting an experience.
Precisely. We're guiding your eye and guiding your emotions.
So maybe a final thought for everyone listening. The next time you're watching something, anything, a movie, TV show, even just a commercial online, take a second. Notice where the camera is. Is it high, low, eye level? What's included in the frame? And just ask yourself, what does that choice make me feel? What does it make me understand about this moment?
Yeah, how much of your experience was deliberately crafted just by that one choice of perspective? It's kind of fascinating to think about.
Definitely something to mull over. That's a wrap for this episode. Thanks for the great conversation.
Yeah, really great insights today. Thanks for tuning in and spending some time with us.
Thank you for joining us on the Cinematic Trail. We hope today's journey sparked new ideas and sharpened your eye behind the lens. Until next time, stay curious, stay creative, and as always, happy filming.